Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Haas, and this is another Hearthstone video. This time, I wanted to take a look at the payment model and their very recent blog post regarding some upcoming changes to this model. After all, Hearthstone has received a good amount of complaints of people saying that it is to pay to win. And similarly, there are people defending it and claiming it is not at all pay to win. So, which one is it? Is Hearthstone actually pay to win? Definitely. But before you start chanting this from the rooftops, let's first have a look at how the payment model actually works, why it is pay to win, and why it may not matter a whole lot. Hearthstone is of course a collectible card game. There is no trading whatsoever. In Hearthstone you have two general game modes. The main game mode, which is either ranked or unranked, features your own constructed decks. The second game mode, the Arena, which I covered in another video, is basically a game mode where you are given a random pool of cards, and it also requires an entry fee to get into. In order to get those constructed decks for the main game mode, you of course need to get cards. Duh. The way this works is that you are given one free, very basic, very bad standard deck, the Mage deck. In order to get the other decks you need to fight the AI in a few matches, and this really doesn't take a whole lot of time. If you defeat them in an AI match, you get a standard deck for that specific class. So say you defeat Thrall, you get the standard Shaman deck. These decks vary a lot in balance, but for the first few matches you should be fine in winning a few against other newer players, but it'll soon become clear you are desperately going to need more cards. Every second level of every class you can get some free cards, up until level 10, so 5 sets of basic cards. At that point you have all the basic cards for a specific class. Again though, a lot of the core cards you will want to get in order to compete with other players do require you to get them one way or the other, and they aren't free. You will be very limited if you are only going to play with the standard basic decks. So, how do you get more cards? Well, in Hearthstone you can buy booster packs with each 5 cards. You can buy these in one of two ways, with actual money or with the in-game gold. Gold is earned currently by winning 5 matches in constructed play. This will then reward you with 5 gold. It is an incredibly slow process just doing it this way. In the upcoming patch though, this will be changed to 10 gold per 3 wins, which should make this a whole lot easier, but still a rather grinding process if you are looking to get a lot of cards. The by far quickest way to get gold is doing the daily quests. Every day you will get a random quest, and currently these can be rather frustrating. You can get quests that are very generic, such as just doing a bunch of damage, which are easy enough, but sometimes you will get a quest for a class you just don't want to play. But you are pretty much going to have to if you want to get gold quick. Luckily, in the upcoming patch, they have said they will address this frustration by allowing you to pick from one of 2 classes for a class-specific quest. This can still potentially mean you will have to play something you really don't want to, of course, but at the very least it gives you some more flexibility. The reason you really want to be doing these quests is because they will instantly give you somewhere around 40 gold, sometimes even 60, which is a pretty fast way of doing things. But again, these are daily, so you can only do them once and you can only save up 3 quests at any given time. So, if you are looking at 100 gold for a pack of 5 cards, well, it certainly isn't a very fast process. Luckily, it should be a tad faster in the upcoming patch. But does this change the fact that the game is pay to win though? No. There is really not a whole lot of room for debate here. If you pay money to buy decks, you will get cards way faster. And you will run into people that clearly spend money on getting some great epic cards. You can have a lot of fun without paying a thing, definitely, but you can quite literally pay to get a bigger chance of getting better cards, resulting in a much higher chance of winning, which I think is the definition of pay to win. If you want to get these packs naturally, you are looking at a big time investment to get maybe 1 pack per day. Now, these actual packs give you completely random cards with 1 rare or higher guaranteed, so you aren't going to be buying specific cards. You might get cards that are fantastic for your deck, or you might get some that are utterly useless. Of course, this system luckily reduces the pay to win level a lot though. If you could buy specific cards, it would be pretty nuts in this case. What you can, however, do is disenchant and craft cards. In constructed play, you can only have 2 of each card in a deck, or 1 in the case of a legendary, meaning having more than 2 cards of each type is pretty pointless. What do you do with those if you get them in a pack? Well, you disenchant them and get Arcane Dust. Arcane Dust is only gained through disenchanting, or as an arena reward, but this is mostly insignificant. The amount of dust you get depends on the rarity of a card. A common card disenchants for 5 dust and requires 40 dust if you want to craft it. A legendary disenchants for 400 dust and requires a stunning 1600 dust if you want to craft it. The reason this system is so great though is because it allows for a lot more freedom. Although it is unlikely you will craft an entire deck from nothing, it does allow you to get specific cards you believe will be great for your deck at the cost of sacrificing 1 or 2 cards you believe to be pointless. It's not a fast process either, but it means building one specific deck is a lot easier. Well then, why is this pay-to-win deal not such a big issue? Indeed, getting competitive decks will likely require either a very big time investment, or more likely a purchase of a good number of packs. But Hearthstone is of course a card game, a free card game. This model has pretty much always been pay to win to some extent in card games, and it has worked for them. Magic the Gathering is of course a very popular card game franchise, and this has always used a very costly monetization model for years. The video game versions of this are Magic Online, which both requires you to pay to create an account and then requires you to pay to get card packs. Or Magic Duels of the Planeswalkers, which only has pre-made decks, requires a one-time purchase and then requires purchase for DLC packs. My point being is that pretty much every card game underneath the sun has been pay to win to some extent, and Hearthstone is no exception to this rule. But if you don't want to pay, then don't, but do not expect to quickly get to the higher leagues. You can easily hang around the lower leagues up until probably the Gold League without having paid a dime. Alternatively, there are the unranked matches and AI matches you can do. If that is not enough, you can try your hand at the arena, and in theory you can keep doing this without paying anything, but you do need to win a good amount. In essence, Hearthstone is just a very enjoyable free-to-play card title. It is pay to win, but that simply comes with the entire design of the game, and yet it is still relatively generous. You are unlikely to get highly frustrated at any point while there is plenty to do. So the pay to win factor is there, but it isn't a huge or frustrating one. With that being said, my name has been Haas, this has been a look at why Hearthstone is pay to win and why that luckily isn't such a big deal, and I'll see you in the next video.